Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Cynthia J Show. Welcome, everybody. Go ahead and hit that like button and share with some family and friends on updates and topic discussion on current events that's been going on in the past couple of weeks, you guys. So go ahead and hit that like button and share. Get yourselves ready. Get yourself ready. Peace and love. Healing and light to everyone. Welcome again to the Cynthia J Show. I am your co host, Cynthia J, aka your inspirational healer, your birth and postpartum doula, your spiritual healer, and so much more. So go ahead and hit that like button and share with some family and friends on some updates today. As we all know, I know you guys are just getting yourselves together, getting ready for the holiday. So just to let y'all know, as y'all getting yourselves together and hitting that like button and sharing with some family and friends. Right now, I'm only streaming on Restream Live and on TikTok. I didn't do Instagram or Twitter today. So, but for those who normally see me on Instagram and Twitter, y'all will see me soon. So definitely keep a lookout. Your sister's gonna be putting it up there on the side, uploading it on YouTube, and it will be there to replay for you guys. So hi to everyone, peace and blessings. Today is the 21st, and we are gonna be on episode 44 on updates and event discussion that is currently going on. But while you guys are out there, I need for you guys to be safe during this time shopping for the holidays. People have been driving havoc. People are still spending their money like crazy. And this is the time we need to be saving our money. Like for real, for real. Save your money and save your dollars for every little thing. Trust and believe. The children will appreciate, still love you, still will adore you. You don't have to break bank just to satisfy your kids. I've already told our daughter, I was like, look, Christmas is gonna be a little different this year. We're gonna start taking that money and start spending it on holidays. So yeah. With that being said, let me go on ahead and start chiming in. Y'all see y'all sister trying to just be a little different today, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm just excited to see you guys. I'm excited that you're on here live with your sister today. I'm excited to be here in the land of the living. Like I said before, I'm going to brag about my brother. Like I mentioned before, my brother Eric, he has arisen in the heavens. He has ascended to the glorious of glories for my ancestors, our ancestors. So I'm excited in spirit, yet I am still pressing through. You know, my brother not being here physically, especially with the holidays coming around, it's gonna be a little tough. I know last week, but I'm about to change subject now. I know last week I mentioned about there being a little bit of praise and worship today, but I was led to do a little different twist. So, with that being said, I was led on these discussions, these topics, and I wanted to kind of get everybody's view on this stuff. So, but anyway, first and foremost, I definitely gotta give kudos for those who still sending me love, still sending condolence on behalf of my mother. I speak to you guys. Thank you again for your love and your condolence to the family. But let me get on today's topic. Like for real, for real. I'm excited. So for those who have heard, and I know this has been a topic trend all week since the verdict. I know you guys got that verdict breaking news at the beginning of the week dealing with Jonathan Major on that video that was showing him being chased by his girlfriend. Seriously. Him being chased by his girlfriend and then turn around to be with a sister later. Yeah, he had been found on one count not guilty, yet still found charged and guilty. Does that make any sense? Like seriously, for those who actually know the story on Jonathan Majors, this young man, we all see him play on this past movie, young upcoming actor, black man. He was up doing well for himself, and now his image has been tainted like crazy. This is why it's so important. And I try not to make this about race, but this is the truth, no matter where you hide it at. The brother was trying to defend himself and run away from his girlfriend because it has been allegedly said she saw in his phone while they were out together, and you can see it on a video for those who have not had a chance to. Go ahead and go look up that video. You can find it on YouTube, the whole video of him trying to run away from his girlfriend. And you see the cameras all up and down every corner in New York, him trying to get away. He even picked her up when they got near the vehicle. That's the beginning start. And try to place her in the vehicle and run away while she's beating on this man. But yet he still get charged. Does that make sense? So that goes to show to my brothers out there, you need to be careful who you are dating. If you get my hint, you need to be careful who you are dating, especially outside of territory. Yes. But don't those who don't know who Jonathan Major is, this is Jonathan Major. That's Jonathan Major, guys. If y'all don't know who he is, that's who this brother is. Zooming in. A lot of people, hopefully you can see it. I know my camera doing a little funky doodle. That's why it's very important that we pay attention to who we are dating. Not just that. What is going on, guys, with the actors out here call these celebrities calling out on each other lately? Like for real. Have y'all not noticed that the actors and other celebrities are calling each other out? Like they bringing up underground dirt. Now we know social media. We got to be careful on social media, like seriously, because social media is a tapping ground for everybody to expose people's business. And with that being said, it's going to show that everybody is exposing everybody's business on social media. Even stuff that's been hidden behind the scenes, like all this time I'm just watching and I'm like, dang, people are exposing people for real. They exposing the stuff that they do behind the scenes, men with men. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And we are in a year of exposing. There's a quota for the end of the year. People are hitting a quota to make sure that people are being exposed at the end of the year or whatever hidden secrets they got going on that's been there from the time they started in this journey. Like for real. We already see the video of P. Diddy out here, what's been going on with that brother. Like for real, for real. We have already seen what's been going on with every other actor. Like even today, I was looking at another video on YouTube, came across with a Method Man. He was being exposed. He was exposing people. I'm like, what is going on? Like, is this the month of exposure? It's like seriously. So these are current events that's going on, guys. Like, is this the month of exposure? Exposing people, like for real, for real. And don't get me wrong, the question is these individuals that's being exposed, is it the truth? You know, if you go and you look at the stuff that goes on, we really got to be careful. Even though all this stuff is going on out here, we really got to be careful what we are being exposed to. Not saying that you shouldn't, listen. You should be paying attention. You should be listening. You should be really looking at the fine details of the things that are going on, like tremendously, because I'm telling you, my eyes are opening. I don't know about you guys, but my eyes and my spiritual ears and all these have been open to what really is going on. And I'm like, whoa, like even people that we grew up listening to. I mean, it's true when they say, people got skeletons in their closet. Yes, you do. And you need to work that thing out, whatever you got going on. But when you hear people that are being signed to contracts and stuff and trying to blackmail people and negotiate, that is some serious stuff. Like, you better be careful what you doing out here. Like for real, because all today I've just been like, oh my God, what is really going on out here? Like people are really exposing people. I mean, to the point where it's like they're doing this for publicity. And to me, it's just like, dang, okay, so now that's the thing now, that's the new trend. So I expose this brother over here. Now this brother gonna expose the other brother. Now this sister about to expose somebody else. I mean, the list goes on. Even when the one I was watching today dealing with Method Man and this one sister was she was talking about what people don't know when it came to her and how he was treating her and how the event where they was at was like a hotel or something, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but she was saying that the police was called and they taking her, statement, they taking his statement, and nothing was being done about it afterwards. No charges being pressed, nothing. And I'm like, dang, like what is really going on here, guys? Like seriously. I'm like, it's like one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. So I'm definitely gonna tell you guys, pay attention to what you watch, but also be mindful what you're listening to because people are out here ready to damage people's lives. Like seriously. And if you out here doing things you shouldn't be doing, I mean, I'm not trying to sit up in here and judge you, but I will be honest with you. There are certain things that you just should not be doing. If you don't want people to know about it, don't do it. That's how I look at it. I used to be like, say, what's behind closed door, that's on you. You know how people say back in the day, old saying, if you was in Vegas, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But with the stuff that's going on now, you just can't, you just cannot be just doing what you're doing anymore because social media is the thing that's exposing everybody, like point blank. It's exposing all your dark hidden secrets. So if you got some skeletons in your closet from your past, you better go right on the back and try to find a way to just fix it or just hold yourself accountable. That's how I have to say, see it and say it. So with that being said, I mean, it's a lot of things going on. Besides that, on other news, I know some of you guys have watched the video, and I know this was a little bit probably like last week or so with T.I. and Tiny with their son. A lot of people was talking about that and how disrespectful the son was being on the video and how the parents both had to put him in check. I mean, I'm listening to the son while he's talking, and I'm like, I'm listening to Tiny, I'm listening to T.I. I'm like, where did your son go to school at? Why is he talking like that? I'm not trying to again judge anybody, but I'm listening to your child, the way he's talking, the grammar that he's using. And neither one of you guys talk in that manner. But again, who am I to say he was just being so disrespectful on it that T.I. had to put him in check and Tiny had to put him in check. But this is why we got to be careful with our kids. You just can't just be doing what you be doing and don't expect your kids to do it too. Because kids are watching, kids are listening, they copy everything parents do, they mimic everything we do. I mean, to the T. So don't think what you're doing behind closed doors at home. The kids ain't gonna show it in public, especially on social media. So that's another thing. Again, these children are getting out of hand. Next topic, update on the teachers. There was this one teacher. This one was in the South. I know a lot of you guys saw this video too as well. Black brother, he was fed up. He was fed up. He picked up the desk and tossed it. Well, I should say threw it. And he just expressed how he was feeling. He was telling the kids how they was acting and letting them know how hard teachers are who are like him, which is very rare. And he had enough. How many of you guys know that a lot of these teachers in these public schools are quitting? They are quitting. They are leaving. They are short in staff for the school system, in the classrooms, on school buses. I know we all heard this before, but I'm just letting you guys know now, especially out here in the VA where I'm at. Anytime I can have one teacher I meet with my daughter, because my daughter, she had her go through private, then homeschool, and then allow her to experience a little bit of public. And the one teacher that I was talking to that she really liked and she wanted to be in a class with, the teacher was just like, I'm sorry, love. I would love to have you there, but I have too much in my class, enough as it is. She has 29 kids. So if that's here, 29 kids in one classroom, then I'm hearing that there's 30 in another classroom. The highest I've heard so far, it's been 35. 35 kids in one class. I don't know how it is in other states, but I know here it's been getting ridiculous. From that to the bus drivers, some of the buses are being overloaded with too many kids. And then you're hearing about the absentees that the schools are talking about. So again, it's a lot going on with that too, as well. I'm going to also talk about something of the article I came across today, which blew my mind, on something that actually happens all the time, but people, I just feel like people fear not to discuss it, but they need to discuss it, and it's very necessary, especially dealing with in a society that we're in, where it targets the men a lot, especially when it comes to you being criminalized for something you may and may have not done. And so I'm gonna read this article real quick with you guys. So this article right here is coming from Newsbreak. This one was from ABC News, and it was a black man wrongly accused of a pregnant woman's murder receives apology. And this was like a day ago. Sometimes, the article, these titles don't always make sense to technically the article itself. But anyway, I'm going to read a little bit about it. So, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu publicly apologized to two black men who were wrongfully accused in the 1989 murder of a pregnant white woman. Willie Bennett and Alan Swanson were initially implicated in a murder of a 30-year-old Carl Stark after her husband, Charles Stark, told the police that a black man attacked and shot them. Police later said that Charles was responsible for the orchestrating of his own wife murder and collecting insurance money after her death. So these two men was charged with a murder of another man who is married to his wife, who was later found to be the one that orchestrated the whole thing. Check this out. Bennett was arrested in jail before both men were cleared. Charles died by suicide in 1990 after learning police were eyeing him in the case. The naming of Bennett and Swanson as suspects in the case caused an outrage in Boston black community, as many felt that the police had unfairly targeted black residents during their search for the murderers. Then they said, and this is what they say now, "I'm so sorry for the pain that you have to carry for so many years." This is what the mayor says. And apologizes this past Wednesday. "What was done to you was unjust, unfair, racist, and wrong. At every opportunity, those in power closed their eyes to the truth because the lie felt familiar," she said. "They saw the story they wanted to see." Now, this is something that happens a lot when people are wrongfully accused of a lot of situations that are not thoroughly investigated, and actually sometimes done on purpose, intentionally, especially in the black community in America. For those who are on here on live who may be from across seas and elsewhere, I just got to be 100 with you and always truthful that this happens a lot. I see and hear about this a lot. Just like a few days ago, I was watching another video on Wonder Woman Womb on Instagram. Shout out to that sister who shares a lot of information given by other people like you guys, where she, shared this brother was going into one of the major stores in the mall, like a Macy's or Nordstrom, etc., etc. This brother paid for his merchandise, receipt in the bag. And you see the way the officer body language was, the way he was speaking to the brother, and the brother was very calm about the situation, and he just let him know, and he started recording. And the officer, you can tell that he was just take. You can tell he took it personally. He wasn't ashamed, but he was like, "Yeah, I'm Officer so and so." And he's showing and snudging his badge and his arm and stuff. He's like, "Where's your receipt?" And the brother just looked at him and was just like, "If you looked in my bag, you would have saw my receipt in the bag." And he pulls it out and he looks at the receipt. He looks at the item. He just calls himself trying to investigate. You could kind of see he like really not like paying attention to what he's looking at, but he's looking at it. And then the brother's like, "Look, this is what happens when you get stereotyped automatically because you've been in a store and you have your receipt and you actually just finished purchasing this item and you're already being a target before the holidays even end." That's been a lot going on, circulating around a heck of a lot. I even seen another video of brothers out in a restaurant, and another ethnic group was coming against them and starting targeting them and starting the situation. And the brother just walks off. But guess what? A swarm of police come and they all riding on bicycles. Brother ain't even aggressive. Looking at the Caucasian guy on the side, he's the aggressor with him and his woman, and she's throwing stuff at him. Next thing you know, they target the brother. It's like, what is going on with this world? It's like it's so unjust and unfairly. And people talk about love and stuff, but I can understand where people coming from. How can you love and encourage when you're dealing with so much discrimination and racism and all the other things that's going on around us, that it's like it's there to cause confusion. It's there to distract you. It's there to stir up trouble. And this is what's going on. Things are out here to cause distraction, confusion, to stir up trouble, to have people fighting. It's like it's starting a war intentionally, which, by the way, leads me to what's the movie? Did everybody watch the overview of the world? I think I'm saying the title right of the movie, guys. That was on was it Netflix? Yeah. That everybody had been talking about. Let me look that up real quick. I forgot to pull that up. But I'm telling you, like, I saw that movie and it was like, whoa. I was just like, yeah, this is something that we need to watch. It's the movie where it was talking about how, internet and cyber attack hit and how what people will be if the whole cyber system crushed down and all of that. Like, that movie really kind of piggybacks off of some old movies that were out there that already talked about a lot of these things that had been discussed before. And sometimes you got to remake things for people to actually know and to pay attention, because again, social media wasn't, really out there like that for some of us. But yeah. Oh, Leave the World Behind. That's the name of the movie. Leave the World Behind review. And when I saw that movie, I can definitely tell you, for those who did pay attention to that movie, if you have, for those, let me step back. For those who have not seen the movie yet, please go watch the movie. If you have not seen the movie yet, go watch the movie. Not only will this movie open your eyes to a lot of what's going on around us, this movie will also prepare you for what you should have already been prepared. You know, when you have these producers and actors and people who already foreseen and foretelling the stuff that's going to happen, like shows like Boondocks, for those who watch that, for those who are unaware of Boondocks, and some of them people gonna be like, hold on, ain't Boondocks a little graphic? Yes, Boondocks a little graphic. Or you'll watch shows like The Simpsons, some of them dealing with like them crazy other shows like American Dad, Futurama, all these, shows and cartoon episodes or whatever you want to call them. Some people don't watch TV at all. I get it if you don't. Yet again, it's very important that you look and watch this stuff, because you not thinking about it right now, but it's gonna come a time you gonna wish you gonna wish that you had sit back and watch this stuff for real, for real. You gonna wish you sit back and listen and watch, because it will prepare you for what is to come. Just like when it came to COVID, when the government shut down with the pandemic, there was movies on that. You had sources out here that was letting other people know what was going on. People was like, "Oh, there you go with your conspiracy theories again." We always think it's just conspiracy, 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 conspiracy. But it's not always a conspiracy, conspiracy, conspiracy. It's stuff that's telling us the truth. And we're not being prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually. And we sitting like nothing's gonna happen. We getting too comfortable. We can't keep getting comfortable. So watching that movie World Behind, when I tell you, I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to give it away. But I would tell you that movie had a lot of deep points, a lot of deep points that should be already, for some who are like me. When you watch it, you're already going to be awakened on what's really going down. Then for some who are still sleeping, you're just going to be waking up, but you haven't hit your waking stage. You're coming out of the sleepy zombie stage now. Because if you didn't watch that, I don't know what else to tell you. But in the movie, I will say this, and you know what was so funny when my husband and I was watching the movie, right? And I was like, man, they're gonna be driving on the road, they ain't gonna see nobody. And I don't know what made me bring this up, but I just randomly brought it before it even got to this point in the movie. And I was like, man, I said, if they having a cyber, oh, I know what it was. The guy, what the husband to the woman in this movie, right? Because it was a Caucasian family renting out this house from a black family that were unaware who they rented it out from, basically. But I don't want to say too much about it. And so anyway, the husband went out to see what he could find. And he's listening to the radio. So a lot of our vehicles now, have satellite radio and all the other stuff, yada yada yada. So he couldn't get nothing on there. I don't know what made me brought it up, but I was like, man, can you imagine if he was driving a Tesla? And just as I said that, within later on in the movie, my husband was like, hold on, what's all them cars that's all lined up looking like they hitting each other back to back to back? They just look like they were lined up. You know how when you see when there's chaos in the world, it look like people abandoning their cars and stuff. Well, guess what? All the vehicles were white, right? And they were Teslas. And I had already told my husband, because my daughter used to always be like to us, "Hey, mom and dad, when I become and I do good and I do this and get a job, I'm gonna get you a Tesla." I look at my daughter. I said, "I don't desire, nor do I need, nor do I want a Tesla." Right? When I tell you in that movie that when you see this movie and you see them Teslas, all them cars that was back to back, you would have thought it was just people that abandoned their vehicles. No, it wasn't people. It was Teslas. They was driving themselves from the lots, wherever they was coming from, and being operated on autopilot on its own. And they would run into another vehicle and keep running into each Tesla. And I was like, oh my God. I'm so glad. Like in my mind, I didn't get no Tesla. I don't want no Tesla. I don't plan on getting a Tesla. I remember when the Teslas first came out. Me and my husband was watching this Caucasian guy on YouTube, and when I say he was mad, he was mad. He was like, I would never recommend this vehicle to anybody ever again. At that time, he couldn't get into his Tesla, and it was raining outside. So I guess apparently the battery is underneath of the AC unit in the Tesla, and it drowned the battery, and he couldn't get into the Tesla. So he couldn't open it up. He couldn't do anything. Nothing. He called the people. Do you know how much they charge? He said on there for them to come out there to open up his Tesla. They would charge us. They would charge for the battery $26,000. If I'm not mistaken, it was between $22,000 and $26,000. I Robot movie made me not want one. I forgot all about that. Thank you. I Robot. You sure right. I forget about that. I Robot movie did it sure did. We're gonna get back to that one though. And so the man said that they was gonna charge $26,000, between 22 and $26,000 just to replace the battery to get the vehicle open and running. And just about I want to say about a month or two ago, out in Virginia, Alexandria, a brother was at a gas station. I thought was kind of strange in my mind, but at the time I was like, okay, maybe I'm tripping. I'm still learning about these cars, right? He was stuck in his car for almost, I think it was an hour and a half. He couldn't break the window open in that car. It was no way for him to get out. And you could see the sweat just dripping from him. And he was like, I would never get this car again. I would never get this car again. Like, seriously. But in my mind, I'm like, I know you're doing your research like everybody else does. If you have access to YouTube where you can find and look and see, and I'm not saying that everything is always good. Everything ain't always, for good intentions. But if you can go on YouTube and find out about the type of vehicles that are hot on the market that will be safe, workable to fix, reliable, then that's what you should be doing. But don't get something. I don't care if it's hot on the market and it's name brand. I'm just not doing it. Get the Daystar film video. Imma check that out. Imma check that out. Imma check that out. Hey, brother Nana, I see you. I'm definitely gonna check that out. Daystar Video. But a lot of these movies, these episodes, these shows, they show and tell us about a lot of things that, again, we just think it's a movie. You know, we just think it's a movie. Beyond Human. Oh my God, that was good. And I was watching something else on Hulu the other day, something with the AI thing, and my mother-in-law was looking at me like, "Oh, what you watching? That look crazy." I said, "What looks crazy to you may not be crazy because you need to be preparing what's going on out here. It's too much going on out here." Which, by the way, I know some of y'all heard about them AIs that already been fully created over there and over across seas, especially in China area. They already got them things doing robots. I was watching one thing where they just had it like the head, which reminded me of Futurama. It was creepy as I don't know what, right? So they set the head on the table, right? And then this robot was actually communicating with this woman. And I'm like, oh my God. And it was talking about I have feelings and emotions. And I said to myself, okay, this is kind of creepy, yet scary. Because now I remember another movie, and I cannot think of the name, but it was almost similar to like Beyond Human and some other stuff. Yeah, black, right, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm thinking of this one movie where they was transferring people's souls slash spirit into these other entities that they created. And in my mind, I'm like, this is creepy. I don't want nothing to do with that. Yes, they imprinted a robot with the mind of a black woman who was a realtor. I can't remember if she was a realtor or not, but it was a black woman. I do remember that. And I was just like, I don't think I want to be involved around nothing like that. Because now they trying to make them so real to the point where they talking like you and I. And the question going to be is, can you really distinguish? Can you really distinguish what is a real person or not? Like seriously, that is gonna be some creepy stuff. I don't want nothing coming around me talking about how you doing, can I help you? And then all of a sudden be a I robot moment and start strong handling me. No. But that's what we get into now. Like seriously, that is where it's getting at. And as they creating these AI robots and you have AI everything down to the apps where that's another thing. I don't fool with all these apps and I don't suggest and recommend everybody be fooling with all these apps. But that's how they started. And they taking some of these apps and stealing people's identity, which they already doing with stealing people's identity anyway. But you're stealing more of your identity when you keep using them and they're telling you to, hey, take a picture of yourself or take a screen picture of yourself and upload it, see how you're gonna look when you're old and all this other stuff. And so it's just too much. Yes, you're right. Yep. And they can have ownership. Exactly. That's why they tell people don't put your children on, social media like that and all this other stuff. It's bad enough we're already on here, right? Like right now we on here. However, still, you can protect your children a little bit better as much as you can and kind of keep them off the radar. But you got some families they don't think like that. They think everything is a conspiracy theory again, like I said, and that's why we deal with what we deal with to now today. But back to that movie, I definitely say to that movie, if y'all have not seen it, y'all better get up there and watch that movie. I was also hearing some people saying that I don't know how true this is, it was just something I just caught on the side. How they said Barack Obama had a part to play on that when they was going through the details of the movie Leave the World Behind. And I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, just too much. Which that on another note, I heard there was supposed to be some other information on him besides what happened to the brother out here in VA who was his chef. I know y'all remember that conversation. That issue was, I think it was about 2 months ago, right? Where the chef, the Obamas, and normally would be at their cottage or whatever, end up drowning out there in that water. It was saying that there's some more information on them. Hopefully, next time I try to get up a little bit more detail on that. But with that being said, guys, we really like seriously, we really got to be on our P's and Q's. If you guys haven't prepared yourselves, Remember, this is the end of the year. A lot of, places are trying to hit their quotas, and it's getting ruthless, reckless out here. I also came across earlier too when they was talking about, oh, they caught some what was it? Other immigrants trying to come across the California border, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I gotta go back and look at that article again because I kind of scanned through. But they were supposed to be like some Asian people, but they were dressing too well, and they were saying that they was informers who might been like military based or whatever trying to get over here. That is why it's so important that they're trying to cut off the borders in a lot of places here in America. So with that being said, that's been another thing that's been going on, trying to cut off a lot of things that's been happening because it's tapping in to us, and they trying to say that we looking kind of weak over here. But those people was looking very suspect, so they shipped them back. So be on the lookout for some other crazy stuff. If y'all hear any more news, definitely, keep all of us heads up because it's so much stuff going on in each state that we are unaware of. Like for real, for real. Oh, and also I came across an article of a 10-year-old boy in Mississippi who was being charged by the prosecutors and them because this young brother, and I'm not saying this young man was all the way right, but this is an old school way how we used to do. So apparently his mother was at the attorney's office, and the young man was near the vehicle of their car and had to use the bathroom. And apparently he went over and he was using the bathroom, and the police saw him, as they say, and they handcuffed him for using the bathroom over near the car somewhere near the bushes, and handcuffed him and took him off, and the mom didn't know. So again, this happened in Mississippi. For those who are from Mississippi area, y'all know more about it. Definitely speak on it on here. But what I could remember reading off this article, this young man was being charged for this, and the cruelty of the charges were based off of what they would give an adult, and he's only 10, young black man. So the mother and the attorney has stated they will fight against this, which I'm glad they are going to do because why are so many things being like just done and given away? It's like we take the charge and we go. No, it's too much things happening for no reason. Again, I'm not saying that maybe the way the young man did it was not well, but he probably was being obedient and listening to what his mom told him to do when she went in. However, he had to go to the bathroom. He had to go to the bathroom. That's what people used to do back in the day. People still do that when they're traveling on 95 or traveling on 85. If you in the East Coast or wherever you at, and if they got to use the bathroom and ain't no rush stop nowhere, they're gonna pull to the side and use the bathroom and hop back on in. I mean, you can only hold it but so long. And I believe that's what this young man was doing. He tried to hold it on as much as he could, and he couldn't hold it on no longer. So, definitely. Oh my God, this is another thing. I know y'all had to hear about this week. I know you had to. I know you had to. It said, and then Brother Bent shared this for those who know Brother Bent. It was breaking news from the Pope. Francis has approved that priests to bless same-sex couples. I'm gonna tell y'all, I saw so much stuff going off on the radar when this happened. Yes, the Pope. For y'all that can see, hopefully y'all can see the Pope. My light's kind of shiny, you can't see it, but the Pope. Breaking news: the Pope. Yes, and people were going off on that. Yes, they were. It says on here that the Pope Francis has formally approved allowing priests to bless same-sex couples with a new document explaining a radical change in the Vatican policy by assisting people seeking God's love. Mercy should be subject to an excessive moral analysis to receive it. The document from the Vatican Doctrine Office released this on Monday. And this is from the letter from Francis sent to 2 executive cardinals that was published in October. But this is just circulating more now through CBS News and everybody else. So just letting y'all know that's going on too. Yep. So it's so much stuff that's going on out here again that people are not being aware of. I'm telling y'all, this news stuff is mind blowing, mind blowing, mind blowing. There's another thing that was going on too. A video circulated around where this was at, I think, a daycare. I could be wrong. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Bear with me, guys. Yep, here you go. It was a daycare, and this was a 2-year-old black girl handcuffed by a white child in a preschool civil rights play role. This is coming from the Revolt. On December 1st, a 2-year-old black girl was handcuffed and fingerprinted by one of her white peers during a civil rights lesson at St. Cloud, Florida Daycare Center. One publicly posted the photo showed the little black girl being detained and taken into custody. With her hands behind her back, another showing the little girl hands were placed on the table. And I mean, they got photos out galore, guys. And this again is on the Revolt. So for those who are on Revolt, who follow them, definitely look that up. That's another thing that's going on, breaking news. They, I thank them for blotting out the kid's face. But that's another thing that's out here that they showing on here too, guys. Like it is just it's crazy. It's just crazy. But it's just so much. Like from that to again, you're hearing about, you know, the situation and for those who this is a little different, a little off subject, but for to the parents out there, still be watchful what your kids eat about these Takis that's been going on. A lot of kids like to eat these Takis. I know y'all remember about the one hot chip that killed that 14-year-old boy about a month or two ago. If you guys haven't caught that, please be careful. Make sure your kids are not, eating this stuff like that. This stuff is really damaging people, really damaging the kids. I also want to give thanks to all those who knew about this. I know some of you guys aren't here, but give thanks for those for helping a sister out. Her son had went missing last weekend, and he has been found yesterday. So for those who follow me on my other social media platforms, thank you guys for sharing, sending out your love and your support, your prayers, all of the above. Like for real, for real. It is it was very scary. Nobody wanna ever see a child missing, having to deal with your child, missing. There are a lot of children that get influenced by a lot of people within their peer group or outside of their group because there's a lot of sex trafficking going on and other things that goes on with that. And sometimes these kids are just not getting swiped. They can get lured by those who they think they are friends. And next thing you know, they're going missing, and they're not just using them for sex trafficking. They also using them for trafficking organs and stuff. So y'all heard me talk about that before. Like seriously, y'all heard me talk about that before, and I'm gonna keep talking about it because it's happening a lot out here with our people. Last but not least, also make sure if y'all in the Maryland area, be careful if y'all from Maryland on in the East Coast. They just posted that Maryland officials proposed to increase speeding fines for drivers on Route 210. So if you're up and down on on the road in Maryland, you better be careful because they are starting to increase these speeds. But other than that, so far, also, oh, that's what I meant to say when I was talking about the Asians earlier. When they was talking about remember we hadn't heard anymore when they said they saw this little glow ball in the air that was looking down on us and capturing and having those moments. We didn't hear no more about that, right? We ain't hear no more about that anymore. Well, it's been mentioned that those little orbs play a big part. That again, we are still being screened. They're capturing and watching us from satellites, which we already knew that. We thought that with our own government. But it's getting to that point where we better pay attention. Yep, pay attention to what is really going on out here. So, with that being said, that is all the updates and the breaking news. But get ready for the holidays. For those who celebrate the holidays, please, I always tell people, study. It says, and for those who do read the Bible, the Quran, whatever what we do in our religious stand or spiritual stand, people perish by the lack of knowledge. Please read the history, know stuff that goes on with holidays and what they mean and the terms and stuff. Go beyond our understanding. Let's go overstanding so that we are aware of what's really going on out here. Because now again, you know, people have been getting in car accidents. Christmas coming around the corner in another few days from now. I just desire for you guys to be safe out here. I desire for y'all to just spend time with family. Again, just be careful, be safe, keep up with the news. But your sister right here, my next episode is just gonna be up on here just to prepare y'all for next month. Because for those who knows about this particular type of calendar, I don't like to follow, this calendar here because we know when New Year's originally started. But for those who like to celebrate New Year's in January, make sure y'all prepare yourself because your sister will be coming with new stuff next month for season 2. Yes. So Cynthia J has been officially on here, started this month last year for a whole year. Woo! I'm excited. Grace has found me. Grace has been with me. I have been on this podcast for a whole year. And it started in December of last year. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I never thought to see myself doing a podcast, talking on a podcast, anything. But I was led. I knew that I had to do things that was up to date, current, speak the truth, give the truth, only but the truth, encourage my people, everything, everything. And I know some people who up here, they probably like, okay, she's just rambling. No, I'm not just rambling. I'm coming on here to give you the truth, just like every other brother or sister out here is to give you the truth, because the truth is necessary. The truth will help you define the truth that's in you. The truth will allow you to see what your moves need to be. So, with that being said, I am so grateful for every person who has been following me, supporting me. Like I said before in my last few broadcasts, I said I'm doing this now more now than ever before on behalf of my brother, Eric Jones, who passed away. Well, let me take that back. I got to get out of having using that word passed away. Who has ascended with my ancestors, ascended to the heavens at an early age. It's my middle brother. And I'm going to brag his name until I brag it to the next dimension. So, with that being said, I'm excited. I thank you all for joining in today. If you come across any more information, you let your sister know. You DM your sister, like for real. If you're looking for a birthing doula and you're in the DMV area, which is DC, Maryland, and VA, hit me up, hit my link. You'll link on there and you will see Healing Hearts Tailor Made Doula. We are right in the DMV area. We are birthing doulas and postpartum. So we help you with your before and after. And even if you experience, a child ascending and not surviving in the physical, we will still be there for you to help you through counseling sessions and all kinds of things and healing herbs and methods of spiritual healing and so much more. So go ahead and hit that like button, share this with a sister, a brother, even to my brothers, because brothers still need it too. They still got to go through counseling, healing, when they got to be there for their wife, the mother of their child, to help them go through this time of losing your precious treasure. So, with that being said, I thank you guys for joining in with the Cynthia J Show. I am your co-host, your inspirational psalmist, If y'all haven't got a chance, check out my music. You can find me on YouTube. It's still connected in my bio. So listen to the encouraging music that will inspire you, take you to a higher frequency, take you to another level you ain't never seen before. And that will not just encourage you and I, but encourage our children. Anytime the children like the song, you best to believe it's doing something. So again, I'm excited. Stay tuned for more updates near you, near me. Again, for those who just tuned in today, this was just episode 44 for current updates. Again, next week we'll just have updates on other stuff, but I won't be on here with y'all. It'll be probably just a semi record, and we'll go from there. So I love you guys. Again, share your love. Go out here, love on somebody, love on your family. Don't hide yourself. If you're looking again for me to come out and be there for you during some weddings or want to promote anything, if you're looking for a healer, I'm here. I'm here. So with that being said, let me go ahead and shut this down on Restream Live. You know what we do, because it's about that time we in, and I got somewhere else to be. So, with that being said, I love you guys. Peace and love and so much more. Bye.
my story is for your glory. My story is for your glory.
It's for your glory, Lord.
I worship you today. I give you all the praise. For my story is for your glory.
My story, Lord.
My story is for your glory. My story is for your glory. I worship you today. I give you all the praise. For my story is for your glory.
This life, Lord, this life is not my own. For it is written in your hand. Yeah. The battles I face, Yahweh, never did I know would change my story. For there's a journey to fulfill.
Journey to